Welcome back to another episode of the Charting Life podcast, where we try to explore life's unexamined or overlooked aspects through meaningful conversations and usually with a healthy dose of laughter. I'm looking forward to this conversation with Tony today, a man from across the pond, as we like to say. Right, this is actually the second person I have interviewed from England, so this will be a really fun conversation. And I will not be able to match the coolness of your accent, but we'll be able to roll with it as we go. So, welcome, Tony. Very glad that you're joining us. Why don't you let us know a little bit about yourself, who you are, what do you do, that sort of thing.
Thanks very much. Well, first of all, from my end, your accent sounds cooler than mine. Okay,
Okay.
so let's like if you came over here, the women would love your accent, whereas over here, I'm just a normal person.
Yeah.
Was my background? First of all, I'm usually a lot more smartly dressed than this, but this is a relaxed meeting, so I just wanted to just say thank you for having me here. And I know I'm in the dark. Usually, I'm surrounded by lots of lights and things because that's what I do for a day job. Is I make custom light things for DJs and stuff like that. That's one of the things I do. But my background, I come from the northeast of England. Literally, was once the poorest town in England, highest crime rate in England, and I've managed to finally make it somewhere in life. And I'm not rich by any means, definitely not, but there's a few aspects in my life where I would class myself as a rich person, just not financially.
Okay.
Um, long story short, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah. The If you don't mind me asking, what are a couple of those areas of life that you feel like um, that you feel more wealthy in?
I have something that's very rare in England. I have full custody of my children.
Oh, okay.
And in England, it is always the mother always gets the kids, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what the situation. But I did everything right. I had children at a young age, which was maybe a bit silly on my behalf, right? But I was a teenager, you know what I mean? Whatever. But when I actually seen my son for the first time, like on the day he was born, there was just something changed inside of me. And all of a sudden, I had the first thing in my entire life. I'd never had any real family or anything. And the first time that I'd ever seen something that I thought, I am never leaving this child in my entire life. And then from then on, everything changed from me. I made a decision. Literally, I remember making that decision in the hospital that I'm going to try and be a good person from now on. And I know this sounds really superstitious, right? And I don't know whether anyone's religious or anything like that, but I feel that every time if I stray from that path that I promised myself just a little bit, then something kind of goes wrong in my life
Mm-hmm.
until I fix what I know I should have done. And that's kind of kept me on the straight and narrow. And luckily, somehow I've ended up my children are better people than me, which that's something which makes me feel like a rich person in a way, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. No, I totally get what you're saying, and especially as parents, I think we often want our kids to be better than us, or to do better than us, and to be more of all the good qualities that we have, or less of the unpreferred qualities, if we're going to put it nicely. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's great. That's a great thing to be rich in. Family is very important. It's really close to my heart, and anything that you do, if you can do it for your family or for your loved ones, man, that's just such an important thing. Um, I want to say, for anyone who's not discovered you or found your content online, yeah, British Dad Reacts over on YouTube is your channel, and I gotta say, I saw your content, I fell in love with it right away. Absolutely incredible. And there's a lot of things I want to get a little bit to understand, like what your channel there is about. But you started reacting to a lot of content, especially like American stuff, whether it's military veterans or just American, our whole ethos. It just in contrasting some of the things that you see different from your country,
Mhm.
and you tend to want to find some sort of inspiration for your country. I don't want to put too many words in your mouth, or put answer
Okay.
so much the question ahead of you. But why don't you go ahead and let us know what got you started
Okay,
there?
so what got us started with the American thing was actually I wasn't wanting an American audience to see it. I realize that my freedom of speech in my country is extremely limited in what I have to say, and I wanted more because I have literally worked like many people have.
Mhm.
I've worked so hard and felt like I was getting nowhere, and I've continued and I've continued and I've pushed and I've pushed, and I felt like no matter what in my country, my voice was never allowed to be heard. It feels as if my
Mhm.
vote is never allowed to be counted, and it felt like because of who I am, who I was born as, I was not allowed to have an opinion. I've got to be very careful with my words here, even as we speak now.
Mhm.
um, so since I knew that I could not put that out there about my own country, my intention was to be like, I got fascinated by America and how like they can just, it seems that they can almost say anything they want, and they can almost do anything they want. Not just America. There is other
Mhm.
countries as well, but it seems that America does it the best. And it feels like people can have massive differences of opinion, but not get in trouble just because you've got a different opinion to somebody else.
Mhm.
And so my intention was to make these videos and like show people like, wow, it's not just like in the movies or anything. This is an actual real thing. They're doing it. They can speak what their mind, because then when you can speak your mind, you can make real change. Now, you see, I know there's a lot of people that think, oh, England doesn't have any guns, there's no Second Amendment and all that stuff, right? And that's why they've been taken over and all that stuff. But realistically, it all boils down to, in my head, is the freedom of speech. I think the freedom of speech is the most important thing, because if we had freedom of speech in England, real freedom of speech, there's certain words that I could say right now that on this, and if it got posted
Mhm.
online, I would have someone knock at my door and I would be arrested, right? Yeah, I could hang my own flag of my own country, not the British flag, the St. George's Cross. I could hang that outside and I could have the police at my door before tomorrow, right?
Wow.
Now, to me, I was just so like, why? I have never done anything wrong in my life, and I'm going to say this word, racist. I have
Mhm.
never done anything racist in my life. My children have never done anything racist in their life. I don't have any parents, so I don't know what they've done, but I know that I have never done anything like that, and I don't associate or agree with anyone that does. So
Mhm.
why do I have to pay the price of never being allowed to be proud of who I am, where I'm from in any way, shape, or form, or have a say in where I'm from? So that's why I strongly believe that England should have the freedom of speech. Give us freedom of speech, and we will fix our country. Okay,
Mhm.
that's. I know that you guys have the right to defend yourself and all that. We can't even talk about that over here,
Sure.
right? But 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 if we could talk about it though, the whole place would be different. And I believe it would make a much better, much more respectful society. Like what you don't understand, and a lot of people don't understand. I know you hear the common thing that if England was the 51st state, it would be the poorest state. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. But what you also don't understand that is a lot of people don't realize, sorry, I don't, when I say you don't understand, I mean like people in general,
Right. Yeah.
not, not,
Gotcha.
not you, that our place in England with the lowest crime rate in England, the lowest crime rate in England is 3 times higher than the national average of America per thousand people. That's the
Wow.
lowest crime rate. Okay. Like, there's a fact that I pointed out several times. We looked up a random city, Chicago,
Mhm.
and Chicago had a crime rate of, I believe it was 40 per thousand people. Right. Now,
Wow.
I know it's
Yeah.
different level of crime where
Mhm.
you're from, but in the city of Westminster, in England, it's 437 per thousand people.
Mm.
Now, as far as I know, from what I'm told, there's a streamer I talk to, and he says there's certain parts of Chicago you simply just don't go there.
That's
Which,
correct.
yeah, but then how? do we have such a higher crime rate?
Mhm.
I mean, even now to this day, the government's cracked down and knocked loads of buildings down on the place where I'm from, but our crime rate is still 175 per thousand people. And half of the village has been knocked down and everyone's been moved out and things like that. You see, the thing is, because we don't have that freedom of speech and we don't have that Second Amendment, yes, the gun deaths and things are good, gone, that right down.
Mhm.
Okay, they still happen, but they're gone. But
Mhm.
all of the other crimes just go up and up and up. Now I'm in a situation where when I was younger, and I'm assuming you as well, when you were a kid, you could go out and you could just ride your bike anywhere you want, right?
Mhm.
You just
Pretty
have
much.
fun, make a tree house, go on a little adventure with your friends, and as long as you're back in time for lunch, you're fine. Yeah?
Yeah.
My children will never experience that. My daughter cannot walk to school by herself because of the
Mhm.
people that hang around outside. My children can't play outside, and they've my 10-year-old daughter, especially now, unless I'm out with her, she will never experience what it's like to be
Mhm.
free as a child. And when I was a kid, I used to like going about around on my skateboard. It was great.
Mhm.
Now in England, you can't do that, man. So that's what inspired me to start the British Dad Reacts YouTube channel. People, believe it or not, would probably have seen me without even knowing before that. With
Mhm.
long story, but the freedom, the freedom of speech is what I believe my country needs, and I wanted to have an English audience to see and show people, look, it is possible. But then all of a sudden, it turned out Americans started watching it, uh, and I can't complain because it's like the opposite of what the news tells you over here. Now, I don't believe anything the news tells you at all, but
Mhm.
everybody was so welcoming and warm and giving me well wishes and saying much love and God bless to you and your family. Nobody says that over here. We had veterans coming in the chat all the time, and and then they were even talking to each other, thanking each other for their service, and they were saying much love to each other. Like, if someone said in the comment section, "Hey, it's my birthday," you get hundreds of other people just saying, "Happy birthday! Hope you have a wonderful day." It was the most warm, kind-hearted comment section I've ever seen on
Mhm.
YouTube, and it was all completely by accident, and all by these people, which my own country tells me is apparently the bad guys.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
made no sense, but it was beautiful to see.
Yeah. And there's a few different directions we can go there, but I would second the idea of, on the media, and I don't trust them quite a bit at all. Even over here in America, there's uh, well, that's a whole nother series of episodes I could get into, but I
Yeah,
definitely agree with you there. Something that I really appreciate, and I think it comes out a lot, at least as I catch it a lot in your videos, and just what you've said here too. You're not wanting to find the like what we're doing in America so that you can be Americans. It seems like you love your country, you love where you're from, and you want your place to be better. Is that did I am I picking up on that right?
that you know what, that's a common mistake, okay? And I totally understand it
Okay.
because by looking at my channel, people would assume, oh, he just wants to be American,
Mhm.
when it's exactly the opposite. I want my country to be inspired by a country that has achieved what I want
Mhm.
us to achieve over here. I've never once said, I want to move to America. It would be a dream to visit your beautiful country.
Mhm.
Absolute dream. I would love to. But I want my country to be like that. I would like to be here because I do believe the day is going to come that I think there's going to be, let's word this properly. I think there's going to
Mhm.
be a big change happens in my country, and whatever small part that I have to play in it, I will be there to play my part as well.
Mhm.
The same as if something was happening in your country, I believe you would stand up for yourself. Like the American mentality
Mhm.
is literally to protect each other, stand up against yourself. Like your flag, for example, it
Mhm.
doesn't represent the government, it represents the people.
Yeah.
And I find that inspiring. Whereas I'm living in a country where even the national anthem is all about one man.
Mhm.
And And yet your national anthem is about the people, the history, the heart that went into it. Someone says the flag of America waves with every breath of man that or woman that's died for it. Or there's a saying something
Mhm.
along those lines. There's a lot of American things that I find really inspiring, like give me liberty or give me death. And I think that whole speech, not just that one section, I mean
Mhm.
that whole speech is where my country needs to get to genuinely feel those words, not just say give me liberty or give me death, because if you don't mean it, then those words mean nothing.
Sure.
Okay, I think my country needs to get to the point where they decide, okay, we either need to do something about this or it is not worth going forward anymore. We have no choice but do something. We have to genuinely understand. I'm trying to be careful with my
Sure.
words, uh, but we have to genuinely understand that whole give me liberty or give me death thing. This went really political really fast, and I'm trying to be super
Right.
careful with my words. But yeah, that's why I started my channel, because I find the way your country conducts themselves is really inspirational. I see people lifting each other up. I see people supporting each other. Even the beginning of this conversation, you started off
Mhm.
by giving me compliments straight away.
Mhm.
Like that's such a nice, refreshing thing. And in England, that's not a normal thing.
Wow.
That's not a normal thing in England. It just doesn't happen. If you're successful in England, people will try and drag you down repeatedly.
Yeah, I've
And
heard
in
this thing, and you can tell me if this captures the mentality correct or not. But it's been a little while, so I'm trying to put this together best I can. But in the difference between England and America, the way it was said was, if you see someone driving a really nice car in England, the one person might look and say, "I want to take that guy down a peg." But in America, you would say, "Hey, I want what that guy has, and I think I can achieve it too." Is that if I heard that
that's
correctly?
I've never
Is that accurate?
I, I've never heard that, but that is definitely accurate. Well, depends where you are.
Mhm.
It depends where you're at. If you're in the town that I live in, you probably is going to get your car broke, smashed windows,
Mm,
and all scratched up, just for simply having it, just because
mm,
you've got more than somebody else. You do this thing in America where you celebrate each other's success. Now, a prime example of this is, I know it's not the same topic, but you guys tip people when they go
mm,
out for meals and things. So since doing this, I went to an American restaurant in England and I got an American burger, and I'm like, well, if I'm doing it an American way, I got to leave a tip, right? And we don't leave tips,
right.
right? So I stuck an extra 40% on the end of that tip, right? And the smile on the man's face, and he just couldn't understand it. Like, why did you do this for me? This is my day. You just made my day. And I was like, oh, this is what it feels like.
Hmm.
This is why you do it. You realize that you're not just there to have the burger. You've actually made a difference by helping this person, because the smile on his face told me something. It told me that, hey, this wasn't just a little thing to him. This was a big thing to him. And I felt so overwhelmingly proud and thought to myself, if I'm ever in the situation where I can do that, I should do that, because you never know what difference you've made to someone's day. And I know everyone in England's against things like tipping, but that's just a very
Hmm.
small example of the difference in the culture. We should raise each other up. We shouldn't bring each other down, and we should support each other. The American dream is always the same, right?
Hmm.
The American dream.
Yeah.
What's the English dream? No one ever says what's the English dream. In
Mm.
fact, actually, just classing yourself as English nowadays is frowned upon. That's why I call my channel British Dad Reacts. But
Oh, okay.
every Welsh person you ask, if you say, "Are you British?" they say no. Every Scottish person you ask, "Are you British?" they say no. Every Irish, they say British. No, I'm Irish. Like, but if every English person, "Are you British?" Yeah, I'm British.
Mm.
It's like you have
Yeah.
no choice but say it. It's a strange world I live in.
Yeah. That. I mean, it certainly
I'm,
sounds like it. And I will say, from the
I'm
American
gonna
side, we typically are get very confused over Britain, England, UK. Like those are all very confusing to most of us. We're like, well, it's this kind of the same area. You might know what we're talking about, maybe, I don't know,
Mm.
but yeah, there's usually those distinctions get a little bit lost on us. But what you're saying there, it's I don't know, man. I think that's I don't know what that feels like to be able to
It,
have to
it
not have to have that pride in yourself. And I don't just mean pride in like as this overabundance of ego. I just mean this simple like I can be who I am, and without like where I was born, that's not a problem. Like does that
yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, it's like you said, overabundance of ego, but it's not. It's pride, it's passion of who you
Mm-hmm,
are and where you're from. Everyone in this life deserves happiness, okay? Your
mm-hmm,
actions in life decide whether you deserve happiness, okay? But from the beginning, I do believe everyone is born with the right to to try and find happiness in life, right?
mm-hmm,
So why not be proud? Why not have a big, if you want to call it an ego or something like that? Why not think, hey, I am the best. I'm living the best life. My family's amazing. Like my friends are the coolest. Like
mm-hmm.
I enjoy what I do. Like yeah, man, that is frowned upon in England, and yet I
Yeah,
feel that that is what the world needs. The world needs some happiness, man. You get one
absolutely.
shot at it. Yeah, and that's why it inspires me so much, like so much. Like I really, honestly, there was one of my videos that I did, right? It was one of my first ones, and the video was called "Why I Want Freedom."
Mm-hmm,
Okay, I reacted to a song, but I did a speech first, and I showed everybody the town where I'm from and stuff like that, and from another YouTuber's perspective. And basically, what happens where I'm from, we get three types of people. Sorry, come to where
mm-hmm,
I'm from. We get people who's in witness protection, and then you usually get the house burnt down and they're out. We get the news articles come along every now and then to say, "Oh, crack ravaged zombie town is where
mm-hmm,
houses are all boarded up," and then we get these like disaster YouTubers that come
mm-hmm.
along and film the town and like, "Oh, look how bad it is," and things like that. Um, and that's all we get. No one's putting any positivity out there. It's like, okay, but what about this kid who made it and now he's self-employed? Or what about this girl who's gone into the Olympics? Why can't that be on the news? Or
Mm-hmm.
what about where's the success stories, man? Why is it always got to be the negative stuff? If someone's successful in any way, it's not a thing. Whereas if that was America, okay, you got the whole yeah, man. Like, look at your
Mm-hmm.
college, your high schools, and everything. When you got everyone turning up, and someone jumps up and dunks the ball, and everyone in the whole hall is like, "Yeah!" And it just shouldn't we have that for our kids at a young age, or anybody in general? Hey, if your friend, for example, if your best friend in the world, right, rang you now and said, "Bro, I just got the biggest promotion of my life." Instantly there'll be a smile on your face,
Mm-hmm.
right? Instantly be
Absolutely.
like, yes. Why that's all I want, man. I want a
Yeah.
country that it can be a community and can have the
Mm-hmm.
freedom to make the change to it itself.
Yeah. And I think it's definitely possible uh, to get there. And I really hope that works out in that direction for you guys. But let me ask you, what that positivity, did you have much of that growing up towards you, or was it? I know you say like at least at this point, there's not. That's just not the culture. But did you personally were you lacking in that kind of positivity and lifting up when you were younger?
We can go down this road, but it's a little bit of negativity. I don't mind seeing the
Yeah,
story, but
I'll I'll
I don't
leave
want to
that up
make
to
it
you.
feeling like all right. Well, I'll say the story, and if you decide to cut it out, that's totally fine by you.
Sure.
Like fine by me. Um, so I've my mother was a heroin addict.
Mm-hmm.
I then have met her like 5 times in my life. My father left me with nothing but scars on my body at
Mm-hmm.
I can't even grow half my eyebrow because of him. I've got teeth missing because of him. I didn't see him much, but when I did, like he ended up going to jail for hurting me. He broke my nose, he broke my collarbone, stuff like that. And then the worst of all, I didn't get the chance to say what I wanted to when he got older because he took his own life when I was 15.
Mm.
I've lived in on the street as a teenager. I lived on the street. I lived in a garage for a year. I don't know what you guys call a garage. What you know
Mm.
that what you guys at the side of your house? What you guys put your car in?
Yeah, yeah, the garage.
Garage, yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in one of them for a year as a teenager. Then I lived in hostels and refuges and things like
Mm.
that until until I had a child. I went to school. Some reason I did really good on my exams. I did terrible on my coursework, but I did really good on my exams. I went to college. I went to the International Basketball Academy. I played, and I was homeless while at half of that year as well. But then they gave me a residency in Hoffel College in East Durham. It was the International Basketball Academy for England at the time, and I played 3 games representing my country. Um, and they gave me somewhere to live for a while, and it was really cool. But yeah, I never had anybody that I has wanted me to do well or supported me. I'd never like, for example, I made a your mama joke, right? This is
Mm.
probably the worst example, but I made a your mama joke to this lad in school called Sean Robinson. And Sean's never gonna watch this, but if you ever do, Sean, I truly apologize. Right. But I made a your mama joke to him. And I remember him getting so upset that he stood up and he just started swinging for me. And then I was much bigger than him. So I put my hand on the top of his head and he couldn't reach me and he was still swinging. And I remember in that moment, I didn't fight back. I didn't anything. I just remember being so shocked like, wait, how can you actually care for somebody that much that this is what it makes you
Mm.
do? Like, I didn't understand the concept of love at the time, but I didn't know what it was and everything until my own child came along. I don't think I actually knew what love was. And that's why that thing, just making a your mama joke at someone who actually cared about their parent, was such a shock to me.
Wow.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
talk a lot, man. But
No, you're good. And thank you for sharing your story. I From what I can tell, again, I've we just met you a little bit ago. I've seen your stuff. You're working hard. You're doing a great job, and you're busting your butt,
thanks,
and
man.
it shows. And so the positivity that you're trying to bring in for others, hopefully you can hopefully you're able to pick up on what I'm saying here for you too. That you deserve that as well. And
Oh, thank
so I
you.
just yeah. Um, but yeah, you've definitely you've worked hard. Is again that's for me that's a very big compliment to
Uh,
see that someone's worked hard and despite your circumstances, you're not letting that
yeah,
keep you down because so many people use that as an excuse in life to say, well, because of my parents this or because of this or that, I can't. And you know,
yep.
there, it most of the time you can and whatever the mentality is, whatever that fuel that gets you going, I don't know, for every person it's going to be a little different, um but for however you've done this, congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. I genuinely thank you. Like the mentality for me was always like I think I was lucky enough that it was to be more of a motivator.
Mhm.
I was never going to let when I see my first son born, I was never going to let him feel that he had no one. I was
Mhm.
never gonna let him feel that, and then that also went into, like, my work, and then did all sorts of training courses. I had so many different jobs. I had some soul-destroying jobs in factories and
Mhm.
everything, and there was one job I went in. I was working at a little warehouse, and the guy that did the training with me s told me, "You just gotta put the headphones on, it tell you what to pick up, you put it on the truck, and then you put it in the back of there, and if you work hard enough every single day, in about 10 years time you'll be able to be where I am. And I was like, oh wow, what do you get paid? He says, I get 50 pence an hour more than you. I'm like,
Ooh.
10 years, bro. I was
Wow.
like, I need more than this. I need more than this. I cannot provide for my family. Like, you want 10 years, you
Mhm.
want 50 pence an hour more. So I went out, I did loads of different things. I got multiple jobs. Not only I got jobs, my children got jobs as well. I've got, I'll show you that later on. Um,
Okay.
well, I got multiple jobs, and to the point where I was working so hard that I got noticed by the local paper, and then they made an article about me, like, "Hey, this guy's got 3 jobs. He's all why do we see this man all over the town all the time?" And it's like, I got 3 jobs. I'm out here doing stuff. And then
Mhm.
that got noticed by the TV, and then they got in contact with me, Channel 5 got in contact with me, something called Hat Trick Productions, and they decided to make this program called Rich House, Poor House,
Mhm.
where you swap families for a couple of weeks. So they took me, which was I was in like bottom 1% of the country, and then they took one of the richest people in the country, and we swapped lives for a couple of weeks. I lived his life, and then he lived my life. And let's just he didn't even know how much a loaf of bread cost. Okay, that's how
Wow.
rich he was. His bedroom was bigger than the entire floor plan of my entire building,
Oh
right?
wow.
Just his bedroom. He had like 9 bathrooms, all this, that, the other, and I'd never seen anything like it before. But when I watched it back and he was doing my job, he was getting up at 4 a.m. and then he was riding like 9, 10 miles on a bike. And I'm like, that's what you do to get to work? Like, I didn't drive
Mhm.
at the time or anything. And he was like,
Yeah.
how does he do this? And then he goes and does another thing and another thing. And then what? And at the time I had to do these jobs in between stuff because I had like 2 children going to one school and another child going to another school. So like I was doing 4 school runs a day and working 3 jobs, and I was like working from home as well as much as I could. And then it just developed, and I just kept on going and changing until I found out like I need to work from home or what I want, no matter what I do, so I can be a full-time parent and everything. And
Mhm.
then I started doing Twitch, and people started to talk to me and they enjoyed it. And then I saved up for a computer, like a laptop, and then a computer. Well, actually, I saved up for a beanbag first because I started I was sitting on the floor with a PlayStation and a headset, right? And then
Right.
with the first paycheck, I bought a beanbag. It developed until eventually I got a computer. Never used a computer. Then I started making all these things and learning how to make things, and then I made some examples of my work. I sent it out to all the companies in the local area. I got like 2 responses. And so, okay, that's 2 businesses. But once those 2 businesses had actually got work off me, where I was making logo intros and transitions and menus and things like that, then that just spread and then it got more and more. And next thing you know, I'm making weird and wonderful inventions from the computer for other streamers and selling them on Etsy or selling them direct, and people's coming to me for custom work. And then somehow in my 30s I've ended up in a place where I can support my family. I've got no debt, and my children are fed, they're happy, we get to go places, and I get to put a shirt on and pretend I'm cool.
No, that's
Yes.
fantastic. Yes. You made it.
And then you
Yeah.
that was before YouTube. That was before
Right.
YouTube. YouTube came
Wow.
along and was just YouTube was so positive, man. It
Yeah.
really was. I felt like I was doing nothing but work, just trying to make sure they've got everything. They've got everything.
Mhm.
Our kids have got everything. And then YouTube came along, and I was all of a sudden I felt like, "Ah, I've got something." Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
all these people are talking to me.
Mhm.
But that just it felt nice. I hadn't talked to anyone for ages other than shopkeepers and taxi drivers and stuff. Like, I didn't talk to adults or anything. I just
Mhm.
if it wasn't work, I didn't talk to people. I just kept myself to myself. And yeah, it really put me in a better headspace. I, I'm
Yeah.
I'm smiling just thinking about it.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Again, I'm so happy for you that that this is definitely working out, and just the explosive growth that you've had too on YouTube is just incredible to watch. Um, the
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, again, so congratulations. And the fact that the you mentioned the comments section in YouTube was so nice, which is usually not the case. In many other videos, it's certainly not the case. But for the niche that you've carved out and that you found is man, that's incredible. And it seems like that's that's a lot of what you needed, and it's come back around to you in a pretty special way. Uh,
Really
and
has.
and so you work hard for family, for your kids, and I'm assuming it's a question I feel like I kind of have to ask, but I think I kind of know the answer anyways. But they're on the receiving end a lot of that positivity and that cheering them on and that expectation that you never really received. They are able to receive that from you. I'm assuming.
My daughter just finished. Is it still okay? It's past midnight, so I'm going to say
Okay.
yesterday. My daughter just finished year 10. She got an award for being the best pupil in the county of the year. In
Oh
the
wow.
county. That is my 15-year-old daughter. She's the highest grades out of anybody in the county of the year. I'm at like, yes, man. Like my youngest daughter is just like absolute joy. You might have seen her in a few videos to be around,
Mhm,
but like I truly believe that I make her happy and she makes me happy. Whereas my eldest daughter is just like literally my best friend. She's so funny. She
mhm,
thinks she's funny, but like I'm definitely the funniest one. But like I see she's grown up and she has no memory of her mother or anything like that,
mhm,
and things. So it's all been just me and her. And do you know how I've been told how hard girls are when they get to teenage age,
mhm,
but like she's 15 and we're best friends. Like driving home in the car, right? She knows exactly what song to put on, and then she's singing "Walk This Way," and I'm like "Talk This Way," and like like we're absolutely loving it. Eldest son, he's got a job, he's at college, he's about to go in the Royal Marines, he's got his own place. I literally just went down the seafront for an ice cream with him today, and we don't see each other every day, but it's like every 2 days, every three
mhm.
days. Just because he's working, he's got college and things like that. He's about to be 19-year-old on Saturday, and he's already out there doing stuff, which is yeah. So yeah, they are on the receiving end of that. I do have another son, so 4 children in total. Our share, he does have high functioning autism, but
Mhm,
he's about to be 18, and he's he still to this day, if there's a spider in the house, he'll go and get the little traffic cones and he'll put them near the spider so that no one walks on the spider by accident. You
mhm.
know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Like
Yeah.
absolute heart of gold. He's just
Mhm,
so yeah, the receiving end of that. That's why I think I did the YouTube videos like that. Like I didn't, if you look, I think there's 2 videos where I did the whole YouTube shocked face, and
mhm,
I'm so ashamed of them. But when I'm in the YouTube videos, I just talk like me. I'm just dad from home. But like if I talk to someone out in the street in England, you notice when I'm doing my street interviews, I
mhm.
talk a little bit different. I talk a little bit different because you have to kind of be a little bit like different. But when I do my YouTube videos, I just talk in dad mode, if that makes sense. And then for some reason, people liked it and they were all respectful about it and they were really nice. I think my audience is older, so I think like they're all like I would say 40, age 40 up. I would think. I don't know the facts, but because it feels like they've all been through it, they've all had the kids, or they've got grandkids, or they've got family that's served, or they've all had their own moments in their life where they've done their own struggles. They know what it's like, and like I did a video one time. You ever seen the thing called "Wrong Side of Heaven" by Five Finger Death Punch?
I've heard of it, but I
The
don't think I've seen it.
so it's a very emotional video.
Mhm,
And I avoided it for a long time because I knew what it was about. Okay. And then in that, even though loads of people requested it, And then in that video, halfway through, I just couldn't hold in my emotions anymore. And then I just started talking and letting it out. And bit of a tear in my eye, like, but no, none of that fake like crying and all things. But like, but you could see that I was just like, as the video goes on, you can see that it was getting to me and getting to me, and then it's just like I wasn't gonna post it. I was so close. I was like, I can't post this. It's too much emotion. People don't want to see this or anything at all. And then there's an American sat in the chat right in the Discord, and he literally said to me, "Dude, was it the real you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the problem." He says, "Trust me, post it."
Hmm.
And I have never had so many nice things said to me from other people who's been in dark places. Then that right there was the best emotional support that I could have ever gotten for anything. It was like one giant therapy session coming from an entire country who's never met me before. It was a beautiful moment, not only just to know that I'm not alone, but also to know that it's not my fault. I can let these things
Hmm.
out and people will still care about me if I feel this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was beautiful, man. You should have seen it, man. It really was. It's still there, but like you should check it
Hmm.
out one day.
I'll
Like
definitely
I
do
don't
that.
mean the I don't even mean the
The,
video. I
okay.
just mean the comments,
Yeah.
the comments, just the things people were saying, not just to me, to each other. They were supporting each other. People were connecting, making friends. And then I found out a couple of them ended up meeting up because they're like, oh, like, let's talk, let's jump in the Discord. They ended up meeting up. And then there's a couple of vets now that are all friends and they've got their own little group and everything just because of that support section, like just because comment section. I called it a support section.
Yeah.
But dude,
Yeah.
it was, man, it was such a cool thing. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Um, Again, so that's incredible. Um,
Thanks, man.
what if you had to leave behind a couple of qualities, and this could go either two ways. One, the qualities that you want your kids to embody, or that you feel like your country um, needs to embody, or its needs. Like what are some, I guess, virtues or qualities would you hope to pass on?
That I would hope to pass on um to my children or to my country. Okay, we'll go for my children first.
Okay.
I believe, look, I don't need them to be perfect. I
Hmm.
just need them to not give up. That is all. That is literally it. I would just like them. I think I've got this thing in me to never give up. If I'm passionate about something, I do not give up, no matter what it is. That no matter how dark times get, just don't give up, and then I believe you will succeed. Because if you keep going and refuse to give up on something, then eventually you will succeed. So that's one thing. I don't want to change who they are so they can keep their personality, keep who they
Hmm.
are and everything. Just whatever life throws at you, don't ever give up. Um, and as for my country, if something I could pass on to my own country, um, passion is a good one. You might call it like pride in your country, patriotism, and things like that. But when I boil it down to is
Hmm.
actual passion, show some passion for something, my country, anything. Go full send into just one thing. I don't care what it is. Just show real passion and unity in something, and I promise you, it will spread to other things.
And then this question, the follow up is going to be a little bit based off of some people I know who are English or have been, just people that I've met. Do you think that that sense of passion exists maybe internally, like deep down, where maybe they feel something but they don't ever let it out? Is that like part of the English culture, or do you think that there might actually just be no passion left? And we're talking for like a wide range of people, so obviously that's a little
Okay,
difficult there.
so So the demographic of England's very, very varied right now, so it's hard to talk for everyone.
Sure.
But I do believe that the passion is there. I do believe that there is many, many people that have a lot of passion. We can't show it though.
Hmm.
We cannot. But the thing is, when you can't show your passion and you can't speak your mind, what that does then is it creates extremism within yourself. And I don't mean
Hmm.
extremist like I don't want to say the word, but
I
like,
think I
you
might
know,
get where you're going though.
yeah, but like in your mind, it makes your views extreme because you are not allowed to let that out or have a civil
Hmm.
debate about something or see someone else's opinion. So you're left to form your own opinion in your head because you can't say that opinion out loud. So you can't have anything question it, and you're always
Hmm.
seeing confirmation bias everywhere. So, yeah, I think there is passion in my country, and I know a lot of people with passion. I've seen a lot of people with passion. Hopefully, it's coming back a little bit right now, but I just
Hmm.
hope it's done in the right way
Yeah.
as well. Because if it's not done in the right way and we lower our standards, then we're just the same as everyone else that we're trying to maybe not rise up against, but maybe take back our passion from. We're
Sure.
just as bad as the people that took it away.
Yeah. No, that makes
Oh,
a lot of
that
sense.
was that was hard to hard to word right, man.
Yeah.
No, that's hard.
No, yeah, I don't envy the situation you're in there, as far as having to be very, very calculated with what you're saying. But I think I get what you're saying. And yeah, the
Uh
idea of go ahead.
sorry. I just wanted to also say, right, England has per square mile more churches than anywhere else in the world. Okay, I know
Hmm.
there's parts of the Bible Belt and things like that in America and
Hmm.
stuff like that. Now, these churches, like considering how small England is compared to even your
Hmm.
state, any of your states, these churches are some of the most empty buildings in the world. Now, whether you're religious or not, you cannot deny that the religion would be good for this
Hmm.
country to have back. Okay.
Yeah.
I I know I might get some hate for saying it, but I do believe England is a Christian country. It should
Hmm.
at least try and stay with those morals and values in some way, shape, or form. You can never force anyone into believing anything or
Sure.
anything like that. But I think the churches should not be getting defunded right now and closed down and made into buildings and apartment blocks and stuff like that. I I don't understand it. I think the country needs a little bit of faith as well. I just want to add that.
Yeah. No, that kind of is, and I'm glad you mentioned that. That leads me a little bit to a kind of an arc that I see, and hopefully it's something that can influence back to England. But for America, one of the great, I think we, to our detriment, we might forget where we come from, because Americans, you know, before our long distance breakup, a couple hundred years ago, like we
Yeah.
came from England. And what I love and appreciate about your country is the rich history where you have a combination of three or four things. You have the Judeo-Christian morality, you have Greek philosophy, and Roman government. And you have the three of those found very rich soil about over 1,000 years ago in England, maybe closer to 1,500 years ago, something like that. And that grew for quite a while. And then you get things like the Magna Carta coming up, and then you've got so many different elements that really produced what we have today. And I'm a bit of a history nerd, and so and so it's one of those things where I don't think it's just because I'm a history nerd that I say history is very important. And we can see how so many of these things led together. And with America, what's interesting is we have what we call them like laboratories of democracy. We have 50 different ones of these states where they can run separate and a little different from each other, but we keep those three or four elements together. We just kind of use them a little differently. And each
Hmm.
state's going to have its own identity and its own presence, and even down to laws and rules and that sort of thing. But Um, but hopefully there is something that England can take from that, where it's, again, with America, it's like, yes, there was that separation, and yes, you guys are different. There's plenty of differences that we have, but there's a lot of core out found of, can I use that word? Can I talk properly? Core
No,
foundational fundamental elements that are
um,
the same.
you're
So,
right.
anyways.
Like, you're right. As soon as you mentioned the Magna Carta, and then I understood that that a lot of inspiration was taken from the Magna Carta to build your constitution.
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken, you guys are American, you know more than me. You know what I mean? Um, but recently our king denounced the Church of England, so he
Mhm.
is now a leader of all faiths,
Mhm.
the not the leader of the Church of England anymore. So that's kind of went sideways. But like again, with the history, like yeah, I do have a wall at the end of my street that's older than your entire country. But like but like why do my family, myself, why do we have to be ashamed of our history? Like I get there was bad things. I
Mhm.
100% know it. And if anyone knows me, they will know which side I was fighting on if I was there, because it wouldn't be the wrong side. I would do what was morally right. It doesn't matter what it was. But again, that was all before I was born. That why do we have to pay the price for it right now? And I think Europe is slowly starting to wake up, perhaps not in the right way, but it's slowly starting to wake up and change in some way. You know when it changed, actually,
Mhm.
the beginning of the real change. Um, I'm not sure if Americans know this, but JD Vance came over and he spoke to the European Union,
Mhm.
and he was the first person with any real political power. And he was just, and he came over and he told everyone, like, Europe is absolutely overrun right now. You guys are doing everything wrong in your histories and everything. You're putting it all aside, and everything's just going down. And we, they didn't even cover it on the news, and only parts of it. But everyone that had actually seen it, like English people, who were all shocked. We'd never seen anyone speak like this. Like, oh, he's saying what we're feeling. Like, oh my goodness, this is the first time. This is it. Someone said something, and then slowly, ever since then, there's been a little bit more, a little bit more. And now, if you go on Twitter now, you won't find it on any news or anything.
Mhm.
But there's marches and demonstrations every single day, and each one of these marches and demonstrations that are done by these English people, they all clean up afterwards. Nobody's smashing anything up. There's no violence or anything. In fact, we had the biggest march in the world's history, right, in London, right? And it was the most peaceful day that London's had in recorded history.
Oh my goodness.
And it was the biggest march. They arrested 11 people. 11 in London. That's crazy. Like 11. There's a
Yeah.
stabbing in London every 2 minutes. Like, and
Right.
you telling me there was only 11 people got arrested that day out of millions of people turning up? No, I think my country is on the verge of waking up, but our political system doesn't work the same as yours
Right.
at all. Like, it just so happens most of the people that's ever been prime minister all went to the same school called Eton.
Mhm.
Um, we had 7 people in power in the past 10 years. Only 2 of them were voted for, and they weren't actually voted for. This well, the way the voting system works in England is you don't even need a third of the votes, right? You vote for whoever's in your local county, right? And then all them votes are gathered up, and then whichever one has like the majority should be in power, right?
That makes sense.
Doesn't work like that. Two parties can go and they go to say, "Oh, right, you're my competitor. I'll give you a really good job. You give me your votes," and then they make what's called a coalition. So they just add them. So that's it. Doesn't matter it. You
Mm.
can just all right now. So your votes add my votes. Now all of a sudden we're in the lead again. So that's why no change ever happens in England is because the same parties always make coalitions and they always get into power,
Mm.
dude.
That's
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
well, by the way, since I'm talking,
Mhm.
I got oil in the back garden. Yeah, are you gonna come and give me some freedom at any point? Like,
Sure.
please, dude, just thank that we need it, man.
Right.
Like, and
But yeah,
yeah, go for another question. I feel
sure.
awkward now. I'm said that. I'm
Yeah.
worried in case I shouldn't have said that.
Okay. No, yeah. If again, if there's any point you feel like you need me to cut something for, just let me know. But um no, I did see a glance over at your arm. And I because I've been watching your videos, I know you got that really intense, epic, awesome, all the other nice words tattoo. Is that healing up nicely?
Thanks, man. I don't know if you can see it properly,
Mhm.
but yeah, I got my 1776 tattoo at the British flag. Well, it's not exactly the British flag, is it? It's just St. George's Cross. I got the Lion of England because it will rise again. To et mon Dieu. And then a cross going straight through it because I don't believe that anyone is closer to God. And give me liberty, give me death. Dude, the amount of looks that I get because of this. Do you know why I get the bad looks? It's not because of the American flag. It's because when I hold my arm like this, I'm going to get it all finished off. They can
Mhm.
see this bit, they can see the England flag, okay, the St. George's Cross. So people naturally oh, he's racist. I'm not. You do
Right.
realize it says 1776 on there, right, mate?
Mhm.
How? Why not pay attention to this bit? Why not pay attention to this bit? But the reason I got 1776 with the actual British flag in it is because I believe that that's a shining example that you can achieve what I feel like my country needs to achieve. And hopefully one day I'll be able to add another number on the end of there as well
Mhm.
of the day my own country set itself free.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only so much I can do from this side, but I support you.
Thanks, man. Like I genuinely, I love the tattoo though. I know it was just a bet with a friend,
Mhm.
but I made it into something that means something to me, something that I'm proud to have on me forever. I know I need to finish the rest of my arm because it only does it from that side, but I actually love it. I love it because every single different thing means something to me and represents something to me. So it's not just I got it for a bet. It's like I
Right.
got it because this is me.
Yeah.
I feels and plus I've never had a big tattoo before. I feel badass having every now and then I look down. I'm like, wait, is that me? Is that
Right. Well, you look it, and yeah, so it actually it looks great too. So I saw the
thanks,
video where
man.
you were getting it done, and you're showing off all um, uh, the meanings behind it, and that was incredible. And I kind of feel the same way too. If especially if you're going to do something real big on your body like that, it's good to have something that it means something. It's not just a little flashy something; it
Mhm.
actually has meaning. And
Yep.
I'm kind of torn on how I'm going to go in this, but because I feel like I can go all night. I don't want to take up all your night. Maybe ask another couple of questions before we go into the final bit there. But I've definitely enjoyed the conversation. You mentioned the lion. You said the lion will rise again. To a moderately ignorant American, can you let me know what is the history behind that? What is because it's not like or there's something deep historical to it, but
Okay.
anyway. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll
So
stop rambling.
yeah. Okay, this is another one where I'm going to be extremely careful with my
Oh,
words.
okay,
Okay,
gotcha.
so England has achieved some things in its past before I was ever born. Okay, um, everything from the bad things to the good things, but
Hmm.
people look at it as mainly bad. But we ruled over three-quarters of the world at one point. Okay. There wasn't a part of the world where we didn't have any influence. And then there's things like a response to some things, which was the Crusades, which
Hmm.
is very, very frowned upon. There is some other things, and I think the last person to ever reference the British lion will not lie down and just take it. I think it was Margaret Thatcher for the war in the Falkland Islands. I think that was the last political person to ever mention the British
Mm,
lion. But what I mean by that is it's a symbol of the pride we have in ourself, the like who we are and what we do. Like you guys have got the eagle, right?
mhm,
You guys have got the American bald eagle, completely represents freedom, flying high, one of the most badass things you can think of, right? Well, the lion was that to England in a different way, but it was that to
mm,
England. But it's kind of looked upon a lot differently now. And I'm just seeing the lion might be of the English people might be asleep right now, but I do hope it wakes up during my lifetime so I can witness
mhm.
what it's
Yeah,
like to find some happiness. I don't wish any harm on anybody.
sure.
I sim I simply wish that my when I'm gone, I know that my children are going to be safe. That's all.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's again, it kind of comes full circle back to, your kids and what's being left behind and wanting them to have a better life than yourself.
Mhm.
And that's a great motivator. And anyway, just this whole conversation, it's encouraged me quite a bit. Hopefully it's been encouraging for you as well. But for me, it's been encouraging
Yeah,
watching somebody with the passion that you have. I think at one point you
thank
said
you.
you got like a fire in your chest, and I can definitely see that. And um,
Never,
yeah,
never give
and
up,
it's
man. That was my only
absolutely,
advice, no matter
yeah,
what in life.
yeah,
Thank you for the kind words.
absolutely. The and the last thing I'll probably mention, and then I want to give you the last word before we move on to the next bit,
Okay,
is the idea of are you familiar with the difference between liberty and freedom?
please do explain.
Sure. So I know when I'm saying liberty, of course, being American, I'm going back to our roots, where the how the founders would have used the term liberty. Freedom just simply means no restraints. Sometimes you might have someone they want their artistic freedom, but the problem is you need restriction at some point because once you choose like your medium for your art, now you've restricted yourself. So freedom is fine and that's good and all, but liberty is freedom to pursue that which is good.
Mhm.
And I think one of the issues again I see in America a lot of times we get a little worked up with freedom, and that again it's freedom is good. I don't want to disparage that in any way. I just want to help maybe refine it a little bit so that we can kind of know where we're going for it. And you know sometimes freedom just means hedonistic pleasures and you're going to do whatever you want. Nobody can tell me no. And sometimes that attitude is helpful. Other times it might not be as helpful, but the idea of liberty is that with like liberty and justice for all as part of our pledge to our flag is that this idea is that we all have the freedom or we should have the freedom or we fight for that freedom, we celebrate that freedom to pursue that which is good so that we can be able to have the good life. And happiness too is there's a sense of it's not just a smile on your face. Happiness is it goes even deeper to like a sense of fulfillment. Yes, it is the good
Mhm.
feelings, but it's that I'm satisfied. I've done something, whether you're proud of yourself or for your family or you've achieved something and now there's a peace in your soul because of that. Liberty and happiness are two things that I think have gotten way off track um, over the years, and we've started to lose track. The definitions of we've started to lose them. But given, assuming that I'm correct and how I'm describing, happiness and freedom or liberty, um,
Okay.
what is perhaps one more element that you would say um, that you would want maybe for yourself to what would liberty be for you in that definition? Freedom to pursue that which is good. What is a higher good for you? Like a
Okay.
good thing to
So
strive toward.
first of all, I wanted to point out that I've only spoke about freedom of speech.
Hmm.
I believe your freedom inspires me, but I
Hmm.
do believe that freedom doesn't come without consequences. You know what I mean? If
Sure.
you say something to somebody's wife, you
Hmm.
deserve a smack in the mouth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, just because you got freedom of speech doesn't mean it's for the freedom of consequences.
Right.
The same with other things. But as for liberty and the things, look, I just believe that it shouldn't just be your goal for happiness for yourself.
Hmm.
Okay, it should be able to leave the world a better place than when you came in. Even if you just make a small difference to people that you care about, people in your own local area, or anybody, right? But in general, like in fact, overall, I know nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, but forgiveness is a thing because
Hmm.
people can change. I know people can change. I've seen people change, and I believe I've done it myself. Um, as long as you're always striving to be better and you always are trying to do what you believe is the right thing, because what you believe and what I believe might be two totally different things, is the right
Right.
thing. But I think everyone realistically knows when something's wrong,
Hmm.
okay, wrong to do and things. So I like the idea of liberty, and I love the idea of freedom and things. But at the point I'm at now, we only dare speak and wish for freedom of speech, and then the
Hmm.
rest will come afterwards,
Fair enough.
and we'll sort the rest out afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, I this has been a great conversation, Tony. The do you? I'll
Yes.
give you the final word, and then we'll go into our final section, where I'll ask you some rapid-ish fire questions. But anything you want to leave with the audience? Final thoughts?
Okay, so I'm guessing most of your audience is American. So hey, have a look around you. Okay, have a look at your life. Have a look at the things you do on a daily basis, the things that you are capable of doing and you can do if you want to do, and just genuinely try and find each little thing that you are grateful for in all of those things, and remind yourself, because we don't remind ourselves of what we're grateful for, and we might not even be grateful of some things that we've took notice of recently. Just have a look around you in your life, and see what you've got good and that's going on, because you never know. You you might be in the pursuit of happiness, but you might already be in happiness, you just haven't realized it yet.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great point.
That made sense in my head.
Yeah, well, it made sense to me. So hopefully it does to everyone
Okay.
else.
Okay.
All right. So these
Quick,
final
quick.
questions, they are rapid-ish fire. It doesn't have to be one word answer, but we're not, we're just looking for, just kind of what your quick thoughts are. Given the
Mhm.
exploration theme, I love explorers. Some of the older explorers who've gone and charted brand new territories and everything. So using that as a theme here, let's say there's a new island that's popped up somewhere. You choose the climate; it doesn't matter where, and you get to bring 5 people along with you, living or dead, real people, to explore this island and make the maps to help understand all there is to know about it. Who are you bringing with you? And then the two caveats are: one person needs to help you survive the elements in the island, and then one person needs to be a storyteller of some kind to tell your story.
Right. First of all, as an Englishman, we don't visit islands. I'm not on
Okay.
anyone's flight list at all. The royal family can attest to that.
Okay.
um, but who am I bringing with me? Oh, you're gonna first of all, I'm gonna say a family, aren't I?
Mhm.
But I would actually pick family. My uncle David, he was in the Foreign Legion. He would be very good for that, and he's a great storyteller and stuff like that. Um, my granddad was in the SAS. But like it would have to be like my younger granddad.
Mhm.
But I'd want to but I want to take my sons on an adventure though.
Mhm.
I can't let them miss out. If it's an island no one's been to before, it's an adventure. You got to let your family experience an adventure. There's got to be some danger in an adventure. I mean, some of the things that I want to do is such as well as travel across America. If I ever made it in life, I want to kayak down the Amazon. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, yeah.
Like, I would love to, like, start off just a backpack on, that's it, and finish with a massive beard and no money, 10 stories about how you nearly died, and
Hmm.
just Yeah. So I'm not really sure who I would have to more thought about who I took to the island, but I think
Mhm.
if it's somewhere no one's ever been before, I got to take my family. It's got to be a real
Nice.
adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great answer. And you get to bring one crop with you to sustain life, and you'll plant it and it'll grow and all that sort of stuff. What is that one crop that you're bringing with you?
Oh man, this is like Minecraft all over again. Right. My daughter tried to get me into Minecraft. One crop, just just wheat.
All right.
No,
Oh,
no, there's just carbohydrates. You can't survive just off carbs. Um, one crop. It's got to be something with some nuts in it or something like that. It's got to be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but
okay.
it's got to be something with some protein. Something
Protein.
you can't survive off just carbs. You can't. It's not possible to survive off just carbs.
That's
Oh,
true.
okay.
All right. Uh,
Oranges. That got it. Oranges. Otherwise, you get
oranges.
scurvy if you
There
don't
you
have
go.
vitamin
I like
C.
it.
There
Yep.
you go. Right.
All right. Next question. If you could spend the next year improving just one area of your life, what would that be?
Um, I want to move house. I want to move house. My physical fitness as well. I think I'm lacking on that recently because
Mhm.
two of my jobs are at the computer now. So yeah, I used to be a bodybuilder back in the day, competitive bodybuilder. I'm not going to bring up the photos and show you like every single bodybuilder does, but trust me, I'm
Right.
covered in stretch marks and stuff like that. Um, and I would just like to not be like that, but have some health and fitness again. I
Yeah.
don't drink alcohol. I don't do any other substances or anything like that. I would just
Mhm.
like to be, dude. I just want to have not a dad bod anymore, man. I want to take my top off and be proud. That's what I want.
Yeah. No, there we go. No, I totally get you there. How do you decide which opportunities are worth exploring? Or maybe I give you an imagery. If you have multiple open doors in front of you, how do you choose the like? How do you narrow it down or choose which one is the right ones to go through?
Always feeling, always whatever you feel. People have given me advice on everything all through my life. I've never listened to them. I've taken in their advice. It's influenced me, but I've always went with what I feel, even if someone's told me something different, and it's
Mhm.
worked well for me so far. I if if we're going to pick a door, I'm just going to go with my feeling because if I've got no indication of what's right and what's wrong, then I'm just going to go with my feeling. And I think a lot of people should do that in their life. Follow your dreams, whatever you feel. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. You learn a lesson.
Mhm. Yeah. When was the last time you laughed till it hurt or you had that deep belly laugh?
There was I did a food unboxing with Vicky as well. I've got you
Mhm.
can't see in the background. I'm pointing into the abyss as far as you're concerned. So it's just American food, and yeah, I'm gonna post that video tomorrow. But
Nice.
yeah, I had a real like laughing in tears at one point with some of the jokes because I was doing
Yeah.
the modeling of the things. But no, I think I laugh really easily, especially when it's my daughter though, because
Mhm.
I'm so proud. Like, wait, why is she funny? Like, why is she funnier than me? That's really I find that offensive.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. This is supposed to be a
Like,
speed round. You go for it, man.
that's all right. What about the last time you cried?
Um, I probably should do that more often. To be honest, the last time I cried, I'll tell you the last time I feel like crying, was literally yesterday. With my youngest 10-year-old daughter. Um, let's just say it does feel like her mother doesn't want anything to do with her at the minute,
Mm.
and that really hurts me. So when her mother doesn't come and pick her up when she's supposed to, or when she's not there when she's supposed to be there. As much as I love having my daughter all the time, that's amazing. But it breaks my heart that, yeah.
Yeah,
I should cry more often. It just lets the emotions out. Nothing wrong with
mhm,
being a man and crying. I've
that's
seen
right.
some of the most badass people in the world cry. Nothing wrong with crying.
Yeah. And we're almost done here, but the what does it mean to be good? And the imagery I like to give is if we're at a funeral, again, I'm not sure what's common for you or not, but usually we'll say, "Here lies so and so. They were a good man," or they were a good woman, or whatever. Um, when if someone were to say that, what comes to mind when you hear good?
Um, I I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe that's for other people to decide, people that care
Sure.
about you or you've cared about them
Hmm.
during your life. Um, because when we're gone, we can't decide ourselves.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're genuinely striving to be a good during your life, or at least to improve on yourself, then that will show. The actions speak louder than
Hmm.
words, and eventually people remember your actions. They don't just remember your words. Um, and it will show eventually. But just because same as a healthy meal, like you can do one good deed and 10 other bad things. It doesn't make you a good person just because you did one good deed. But if you did 10 good things and one bad thing, you're still pretty much a good person. Just because
Hmm.
you did one bad thing doesn't mean you're a thing. Like it's to me, being good is probably something I don't know because I feel very insecure all the time. Um the hardest person to like is yourself, isn't it? Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure if I'm a good person, but I can be sure that I'm not going to give up until somebody that I care about thinks I am.
Yeah. All right. And then going back to the island here, we're let's
And
assume. Go
what
ahead.
is it with Americans and islands, bro? You got to
Or
stop
the
with the islands,
landmass
man.
or whatever the
Thank you.
location is. Okay, the landmass.
Okay.
Go, going back to the newly discovered piece of the earth. Uh, um, let's assume things are not going to go going well. You're not going to make it out back to your family. I know you said you bring someone with you, but what is the last very quick bit of advice that you would leave with your family? Your last advice?
Eat me.
Okay.
Literally, I'm the biggest there. Go ahead, you have a meal. Make sure you get off this island, okay? I'm okay with it as well. Just don't eat. Don't you can have me legs first. Maybe just take the chunky bits, but hey, if it keeps you alive, it keeps you alive. I'm okay with it.
All right. That's the
Probably
funniest answer I've gotten. So
okay.
nice. Well, again, this has been a great conversation. I hope that throughout this conversation, you've learned something new. You've gained something. Whoever if you're listening, you're watching. I I always have a difficult time saying like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff, but hopefully I've earned that throughout this at some point throughout this video that we've earned that the like, subscribe, and then when it comes to sharing, at some point it's very likely that somebody in particular came to your mind throughout this conversation. Share this with them. That's my one request that I have is to share this with the one person who comes to your mind, because I think it'll be a lot more special if it comes that way. So with that, Tony, why don't you let people know where they can find you, and then I'll make sure I put all the links in there as well. But I'll let them know, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, I live on my street, and if you ever need me, just come see. If where you can find me, I do the channel British Dad Reacts, but actually, I just want to say this man feels very uncomfortable saying please like and subscribe to his channel. But that's because he means well, but he would really like to do this more because he's got some passion in it. So do me a favor and please just like and subscribe to this man's channel because you can clearly tell from everything you can see he is a nice person. So thank you so much for having me on, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for that. And so everyone, again, thank you for sticking with us, and we'll see you in the next one.